The salary raises given by the government to itself are unconscionable and unjustifiable. No one should underestimate the anger, confusion, and sense of betrayal even that it has stirred among a long-suffering people. Good day. This is the 72nd episode of the Frankly Speaking Jamaica podcast. Thank you for joining again. Please, we encourage you to share and subscribe. This week, fat salaries. That's the stuff of my commentary, frankly speaking, and that's the subject of the contribution by Desmond Richards. Winnie Anderson Brown praises Floyd Green. Now, to frankly speaking, my commentary. In the last several days, it has been difficult to get a conversation going based on facts and even history regarding the salary hikes to members of parliament, members of the cabinet, councillors, mayors, and the political class, really, and their associates, and even senior judges and the Governor General. The salaries do not reflect the Jamaica in which we live. The eye-popping raises offered to the political classes and the government executives put them ahead of all their colleagues in the Caribbean. Even though Jamaica's performance or our per capita gross domestic product is only higher than Haiti's, Jamaica produces the least, but its leaders now get the best pay. Indeed, in the case of the salary of the Prime Minister, it is much more cushy than that of comparable political leaders in the US and Canada and the UK. Now, I mean relative to the sizes of those economies and their populations. Let us understand this. Jamaica's fiscal numbers are all doing well, pointing in the right direction. But we should not conflate that with a belief that the country is doing well or that the economy is fine. There is widespread suffering out there among people who are hustling a living by the day, among young professionals and skilled workers who are battling to save to try to buy a house or add a room to their mothers. It's hard on older people too, and pensioners after a lifetime of service. It's tough. Water more than flour. The minimum wage has only just gone to $14,000 a week, increased nearly 50% over 18 months earlier. Not 100%, not 200, and some 20% of people in Jamaica still earn at or a little above the minimum wage. Nearly 20,000 security guards earn close to the industrial security minimum wage. And the vast majority of teachers got not 100% increase, but between 20 and 60% wage increases. Frankly speaking, this is a society in which the income disparity has been exceedingly wide, one of the worst in the world. This doesn't make it better. Furthermore, frankly speaking, there's grief and distress among ordinary people just going by on the potholed roads and in many places just trying to get something as basic as regular water supply. We are still corralled by crime and disorder. Frankly speaking, Prime Minister Andrew Holness's first reaction to the tsunami of criticism, to the sometimes vituperative outpouring of scorn and derision on the decisions regarding these salaries, his first response was way off the mark and wrong-headed. He suggested that the better pay will bring better governance. There's no basis for that belief. More fundamentally, he said that we have been getting bad performance because the people in leadership are badly paid. Here's what the Prime Minister said in his own words.
We sat in the cabinet and we agonized even whether or not we should even take any increase. Not something that we took lightly, because we know that there are persons who will try to make political fodder over it. As a country, what has plagued us is that we have treated the political class with schizophrenia and disdain. The truth is, you get the quality of governance that you elect. And every government is afraid to touch it, because if you touch it, people say you don't deserve it. Why we should pay you more and the country not running well? The country not running well. Because of that very reason, you have chosen to have an underpaid political class. How must they deliver?
The Prime Minister couldn't mean that, wouldn't mean that. Such a fatalistic view would not be becoming of a political leader. It could undermine the morale of large segments of the public sector. And surely those who give their best effort and time in voluntary work. Frankly speaking, as to the argument that better pay will make those in the jobs shape up, how will it when we don't have any job description for our MPs, our councillors, our mayors, when they're not even the simplest transparent things on which the electors may judge them for their performance? Then again, frankly speaking, it doesn't all mesh, does it? The PM says you get the quality of governance you elect, then in the same breath, you get what you pay for. He said, you have chosen to have an underpaid political class. How must they deliver? Here now is Desmond Richards.
Well, it is clear to me, and it should be clear to all listeners and viewers, well, all Jamaicans, that the pay hike announced by the government for the political directorate, that this is one of the most devastating announcement in Jamaica since 1962. Now, on what basis can the government of Jamaica justify these hefty salary increases? Yes, our political directorate should be paid. But let us remember one thing. They have been elected and they are the ones who are running Company Jamaica. Now, Company Jamaica is not producing. Company Jamaica is not growing. So how can they take so much money for themselves? The Jamaican Political Directorate is the highest paid in the Caribbean. Barbados economy is doing better. The Bahamas, the economy is doing better. Trinidad is a oil producing country. Guyana is a oil producing country. Yet their prime ministers, their parliamentarians and politicians are not collecting these hefty sums of money. It is unreasonable. Now, we observe that the Governor General pay has gone up 34 million, the King's representative, $34 million per year. And in this year's budget, over 400 million has been allocated to operate King's House. The public is paying 400 million. Now, the workers, the salary package that was negotiated, the workers, they are left out. They are the ones who have been laboring for years, underpaid. They have been left out. The Prime Minister claimed that this salary increase will attract more qualified people to enter politics. So what? People are entering politics now. What he's saying is that they are going to be they have offered heavy money to attract people to enter politics. So it's the pay that attract them. The pay, not service. Well, I am saying that what we should be doing is try to pay the professionals to retain them in the services. pay policemen, nurses, teachers, all the professionals, those professionals who are leaving Jamaica for the greener pastures. We should be paying them, not the politicians who have failed the country. They are not doing their jobs. All major areas are out of control. The economy is not growing. Crime is out of control. The health services are failing. All the public services are down. What are we paying so much money for? It is time for us to rebel and protest this, what I call unreasonable and unjust decision.
That's Desmond Richards, journalist and founder of Rebel Radio Jamaica. And now, Winnie Anderson Brown.
I must commend MP Floyd Green for raising an issue that has bothered me for over 10 years. When it was brought to my attention that people had to hand in a life certificate on a quarterly basis to say, oh, I am still alive, so let me have my pension. I found the idea repugnant, reprehensible, just repulsive, all the ugly words that you can find. I was incensed that anybody could think of such an idea, much more to have that idea over such a long period of time, and people wasting time meeting here, meeting there, as if that helps anything to get people to deal with life certificate. From then, I said, the RGD is there. Death is something that is reported. There has to be a way to really get the information rather than putting pensioners through that. And it is not a good thing. Then I said, how can anybody think that it is okay for people to have to say, I am still alive? We all must die. But you don't ask me to prove that I am not dead yet. The onus should not be on me to prove to you that I am not dead yet. I have already served. So it is just wrong. So can you imagine how happy I am that I no longer have to champion that cause? Finally, in this day and age of modern technology, somebody realizes that there has to be a better way, and to make sure that it happens and it is not just a promise. I cannot wait for this to be a part of history. Once upon a time, such a thing used to happen. Pensioners used to have to prove that they're still alive in order to get their pension. Thank you, Minister Floyd Green.
That's Winnie Anderson Brown, educator and health facilitator. End game. Using Green Island Secondary as his lab, Simon Clark showed the country what was possible with good creative management, even at one of the upgraded secondary high schools. And the pay wasn't what made him do it either. Dr. Simon Clark was a great public servant and served in so many capacities in education and in cultural media institutions that it would take more time than available now to list them. Above all, Simon Clark was a gentleman with a kind heart. We lost him last week. Rest in peace, Dr. Simon Clark. Congratulations to Sandals Resorts and the team led by Adam Stewart for purchasing and doing a superb transformation of what was once Arawak Hotel Hilton and is now Sandals Duns River, with some 260 fantastic rooms and plans for up to 800 staff. a great Jamaican brand, sandals. That's it for Frankly Speaking Jamaica podcast this week. Please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. And we welcome your comments. On behalf of Desmond Richards and Winnie Anderson Brown, I'm Franklin McKnight. Until then.